applause for our amazing panelists here today. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, in the absence of Mr. Okay, he's making his way to the stage. All right. Wow, we have global icons currently time to be here today, of course, to engage in the conversations which we're about to have. Serious investors, the mic is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Kennedy Okonkwo. I run the company, I founded a company called Netcom Oaks Group. We own the Victoria Crest brand of estates in Lagos. We own the Citadel Views Estates, Africa's first solar-powered estate. The beauty of real estate is that real estate is not just about housing. Real estate transcends to tourism, transcends to agriculture, transcends to industries, because the bedrock of everything that I just mentioned now is land. And without land, we can't have agriculture, we can't have tourism, we can't have urbanization and everything that we have. Now, when it comes to housing, for you to be able to use smart housing to energize development, you need to build in such a way that it attracts all that is needed to make work-life balance possible. If you have an industrial, park, you don't just build an industrial park, but build the kind of housing institutions that can make live, work, play very easy and quite dynamic. People say exist in land transaction is only possible when states do not have proper land information management system. But the moment you have adequate land information management system, you are able to ensure that the land allocated for port infrastructure is strictly limited to port infrastructure. The land allocated for residential housing is used for residential housing. So it becomes...
Thank you very much, Dr. Kennedy, for that. Of course, we can all agree that the housing sector and the real estate sector is one of the most integral and important aspects of the conversations which are going to be held here today. So it does give me great pleasure that Dr. Kennedy is here to break it down for us, of course, in a way that can impact what we're doing here today. Thank you so much. We'll come back to you very, very shortly. But I'd like to go over to, it's very, very simple. I'd like to know, or we would like to know, how can Ondo State position education, as a global leader in this sector? How can Ondo State position education as a real economic investment that directly drives jobs, innovation, and business growth? The mic is yours.
So, thank you. I have no choice. The quality that I really want isn't here. And so, you can look at education on lots of different levels. We have education at the most basic level, and we have elite education as well. And we've come in to fill a gap in elite education, because what we believe is that the young people of Nigeria need to be anchored in their own culture, away from some of the problematic moral values of Western society. My own children's school in London, I don't have a problem with that, but I know for Nigerians it is important. They have a grounding in their own culture, in strong moral values, but they're keen on excellence at every level. So I think there's a number of things that Ondo State can do. The single most important thing is what happens in schools on a day-to-day basis. If you look at the single biggest factor to improve education, it's deceptively simple. It's teachers. The single biggest influence on a child's education is teachers. There's plenty of research out there that proves that is the case. So deceptively simple, okay, let's just improve teacher education. That would make a difference. The problem is so many teachers want to leave. I find it easy to recruit teachers because I pay more. That's a simple economy. We have teachers from Nigeria rushing to London. My advice, never go to London to teach. It's not a great place to teach. The kids are not that well behaved. So we need to look at that whole infrastructure around teacher education, around teacher remuneration. How can we improve the lot of our educators? Because very often, it goes back to something my father once said to me with a smile: those who can do, those who can't teach. And then I became a teacher. Very often our teachers are poorly educated. They simply do not have the skills to deliver a great education. And as a nation, you are trusting your future to people who are often poorly educated. Just look at the CVs I get every week. People who can't even spell properly, who can't write properly. So there's a whole piece there about our basic education, about universities. But if it's a one thing, improve teacher education, improve teacher training, and that will have a very direct impact on what happens in schools on a daily basis.
Thank you so much, Mr. Todd. And of course, what an eye-opening contribution regarding the teacher improvement. Of course, we're looking forward to the private and public partnerships which will be birthed from these conversations in order to be able to produce graduates who are not just graduates on certificates but are also employable and of course have the skill sets to go and engage in entrepreneurship and different other aspects that can contribute significantly to the state's economy. Thank you once again, Mr. Todd. We'll move on now to the beautiful Dr. Omotola Jalade Ekende. I mean, being an icon that you are and one who has made a name for herself in such a powerful name, we would like to know, please, what kind of structured platforms or partnerships should the state build to commercialize and export creative talent globally? I'll just take it one more time. What kind of structured platforms or partnerships do you encourage that the state should build to commercialize and export creative talent globally? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. All protocols observed, but I most specially greet my king, the Oshemowe. I greet you of my place. It's very amazing to be here today and talk about the subjects of this nature. It has been very, very important to me. As someone who's from Ondo State, who has gone on to do great things globally, I've always wondered why, knowing fully well that we have some of the brightest entertainers from Ondo State operating in Lagos, operating on the world stage, that has taken this long to actually bring us here. It's too long. It starts now. Okay, sir. So for us to position Ondo State on the global stage, we will need to first tap into the people who are already doing that. And we have very, very bright and important people in the industry that are from Ondo State. I think we need to first rally them, we need to talk to them and tap into their knowledge and their experience. Now, structurally, this state is very, very pivotal to Nigeria's economy. We have the coastal line that we have talked about today. Thank you for that MOU that was signed. That opens up our states to the world. This is the same thing Lagos had. And that was what they used as their power. Ondo has it too. We should not be playing second fiddle. So what we need to build is a film village. And who says we cannot have something like, thank you. You want that, don't you? A very good film village. Our governor, our past governor, former governor, Donald Duke, tried to do that in Calabar with Tinapa. I think if it was done in Ondo State, it would have done better. So it's about time we had that here. And why can't we even make it a theme park? You know, not just a film village, a theme park. So we have something like the Universal Studios, something that supports not just film, but lifestyle, tourism. This will bring everyone in the world to Ondo State and tap into the great tourism that we have here. Idonre Hills, so many things, the Kogosi waterfalls. We have amazing, amazing things here that the world needs to see. And I think that what entertainment does to us, or what entertainment does for us, is opens up what we have to the world. Film, music, comedy, and the likes. Another thing that Ondo State can do is tax reforms. When Los Angeles, where I live now, took over the entertainment industry in America, a very smart Georgia decided, we're just going to win them with tax reforms. And you know what they did? They drew everybody to ATL. So now, because it's so expensive to shoot in Los Angeles, your next other place where you would want to go shoot, because they will match your dollar for dollar, as a filmmaker, you're always looking for that, is Atlanta. I think Ondo State can do that and steal everything from Lagos. So that's the second thing that I think we need to look into. And the third will be the young people of Ondo State. I get a lot of mails, a lot of messages from young people from Ondo State. I'm from Ondo, I need help, I need you to bring me into the entertainment industry. It is very tough. I'm in Lagos, how do I bring you here? I have to accommodate you and all of that. But we can begin to bring productions here. So if a production is happening, especially by those people who are actually from Ondo State, some kind of incentive, some kind of thing to just, draw them in. Every filmmaker or so is always looking for some kind of incentive. Let them come shoot those productions here. And so that way, the young people of Ondo State get a first-hand opportunity to be in this project, thereby exposing them to the global economy. So I think these are the major ways that I have been able to identify that we can take Ondo State into the global stage entertainment-wise.
Thank you so, so much. I think that was definitely an awakening speech from the beautiful Dr. Omotola. Of course, the potentials that exist in Ondo State are limitless, and it's up to us to tap into those potentials and leverage on them to be able to place this state on the global map. Thank you so much once again. We'll move on right away without any further delays to Mr. Jubril Arugundade. And of course, the question which will be coming to you is also very, very simple, and it borders on your specific industry. The question that I have for you is, what must Ondo State put in place, policy, infrastructure, or incentives to become a leading hub for electric mobility and automotive manufacturing? The mic is yours.
Thank you very much, moderator. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for this opportunity to speak on this panel. And of course, thank you so much, the organizers of this summit. While we're on the way to Ondo this morning, I was asking myself a question to the other, using very affordable and energy-saving mobility to move. And that's why I'll be speaking on the areas that I think the state should take actions on to be able to open up the state for investment in the automobile space, and especially the green energy and EV space. First of all is clarity, right? The state needs to be very clear on the strategy on how to invite investors to the state. Investors, they are not actually afraid of risks. They are only afraid of uncertainty. When they don't know exactly what's going to happen in the next 10 years in the state, they don't want to put their money there. So the state needs to be very clear in this regard. Secondly is the capability. We don't need to talk about that because we have a very lucky governor, as is mentioned today. We have a governor that is very, serious about investment and drawing investment, especially foreign direct investment to Ondo State. So I believe that capacity will not be an issue. The third is competency. Like my sister just mentioned about tax, related matters. New companies and industrial organizations need to know that when they come to Ondo State to invest, They have some kind of tax holiday, tax incentive. For example, there's a policy for the EV in Nigeria now on duty, right? You have zero duty when you have the approval to be able to bring EV into the country. So Ondo needs to position itself as the state, especially with the new port project that is going on, automatically helps us to be able to bring equipment and these vehicles here as semi-knockdown products. And we can assemble this product here in Ondo State. We don't have to go anywhere else. And we can use Ondo as the hub. Lagos is saturated already. If you bring a car into Lagos port, for you to ship that car to Ondo State, Osun State, and the likes, you will spend a lot of money. But when you manufacture those vehicles here, I'm talking from two-wheelers, e-bikes, three-wheelers, four-wheelers, and even trucks. When you manufacture them here in Ondo State, you'll be able to supply those vehicles to neighboring states within Ondo State, and of course, bring income to Ondo State. And finally, we cannot talk about Ondo State without having a case study. Which other country or state in the world has the same population as Ondo and has been able to change their own industry or economy, driving renewable energy conversation and EV conversation? I would use Norway as an example. Norway has a population of about 5 million as well, just like Ondo State, right? And using hydropower, wind, solar, and bioenergy, Norway has been able to create an industry of about $7 billion annually from just EV business, green energy. So that means that we are not just talking about Ondo State being strategic for this conversation. We are saying Ondo State is sitting on an investment of $6 billion revenue generated by a state only from EV and renewable energy. So my advice is that the governor and the team should please take this industry very seriously. There's so many young people in the states, meaning that we have young people that can learn different skills within this industry. So it's an entirely new industry for automobile, and it's waking up a new future for Nigeria. So I congratulate the state government, and I wish that we can have more discussion after this panel to actually not just speak, but execute. Thank you.
Thank you so, so much, Mr. Jibril. Of course, those were insightful contributions from you. We've touched on real estate, education, entertainment, innovation, and of course, it is now time for us to hear from the banking and housing sector. And for that, we have Mr. Ngozi Onyemuwa over here. So the question that I have for you, Mr. Ngozi, how can financial institutions like AG Mortgage Bank help translate government policy in Ondo State into real, bankable, and profitable investment opportunities? The mic is yours. Thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you very much. Mortgage banks are simply aggregators. They bring together funding and those who are in need of houses and create a platform for them to be homeowners. We did a simple, worked on some numbers for Ondo State, just as I was coming here. With 5 million population and a housing need of approximately 1 million, we looked at the numbers and felt that the gap, the housing gap in Ondo State is about 200,000. About 200,000. And if you take, to close that gap, you build 200,000 houses. Not in 1 year, it will be spaced. We are looking at a $5 trillion opportunity. It is not a social scheme. It is a fiscal reality for Ondo State to have the opportunity of a $5 trillion business within the next 5 to 10 years. So how could that be achieved? AG Mortgage Bank, like I said, mortgage banks are aggregators, will be ready to work with the state government to bring together developers that have been properly profiled. Incidentally, I think I saw on the screen the Redam president. If he's still here, I greet you, my president. So, we bring together tested, profiled, accredited developers that will form a partnership with the state. And also, we will bring in DFIs, development finance institutions, that are there to finance housing, along with government intervention agencies. Incidentally, AG Mortgage Bank was the first bank to draw. When I say bank, I don't just mean PMBs. I mean of all banks, to draw on the MRIF. And the MRIF today is the cheapest window for mortgage, for house ownership in Nigeria. We were also the first bank to draw on the Family Homes Fund rent to own. We have been able to aggregate developers, bring in off-takers to do over 10 billion, or over 15 billion with those two institutions. These are the values we can bring to Ondo State. We can also help you profile, AG Mortgage Bank will help profile the off-takers, those who are in need of homes in Ondo State. Incidentally, my daughter is married here, so I have an interest in Ondo State. So, we do that profiling. One thing you will notice is that once you have profiled off-takers who are ready and willing and have the capacity to buy and own homes, the development finance institutions are always ready and willing to bring funds. The problem is where you don't have buyers. But because of the elite status of Ondo State, I happen to know a bit of them. A lot of them who are abroad, I mingle with them, they are ready and willing to come invest in houses in the state. We are already cultivating some of them through the interactions we've had with my in-laws and all that. So it is work in progress for AG Mortgage Bank and Ondo State to work together to aggregate home ownership, to aggregate financing, that's funding, to bring developers that are trusted and worthy, titled to their land transaction. That will be one of the best in the country. I give you an example.
Thank you so much. The Managing Director and CEO of AG Mortgage Bank, due to the fact that we're pressed with time, would like to conclude this panel session now. Thank you so much for your contributions. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, let us give our amazing panelists a resounding round of applause for their contributing panelists, a resounding round of applause for their contributions here today. I'm sure you would all agree with me that it has been a profound and impactful session. Thank you all so much. We appreciate your time today. We'd like to conclude the session with brief pictures, and of course we can take our leave. Thank you so much. Another round of applause for our panelists, please. Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once again, let us give our panelists a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen and lady. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the king from the University of Cambridge and a PhD in War Studies, Modern War Studies from the University of Buckingham. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage Senator, Ambassador Designate, Jimoh Folorunso Ibrahim, OFR, CFR, representing the Senate President, Godswill Obod Akpabio.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Ondo State and his wife, let me congratulate you for this one-year anniversary. And in consonant with that, I come in contact with Commissioner for Finance on behalf of Executive of the State. I do congratulate you. While I stand on the existing protocol already established with the consent of the Governor, I will only need to say good afternoon. He also excellent return of the first year anniversary. And more importantly, he's very excited about the summit because he's been governor for 8 years in Akwa Ibom and is very successful. So he knows the teething problems that you are going through, and he believes that you already start to fly the flag, and he has good belief that you will land very safely. So he gave the assurances and sent his highest regards to you. I wouldn't bother reading his long speech. We are not speech writers in the Senate. I will hand over a hard copy of that to His Excellency the Governor of Ondo State, which will be in the booklet of the report of this summit. I will lay foundation to that speech in brief minutes and then disappear from the stage. As a matter of fact, this is my state. I am from here. I also represent the good people of Ondo South, where the governor comes from. In a typical day, I would have charged a minimum of $50,000 for 1 hour lecture that I gave. Yes, I charge minimum of $50,000 for any lecture that I give that has to be commercial. I have not discussed with the Senate President what he's going to give to me on this lecture, but be assured I won't do it for free of charge, even though it's my state. I do know that my governor will not give 1 kobo. I've never seen much his money since I know him to be a brother. He doesn't joke with money. I haven't seen the color of money in his pocket. I haven't said that because a lot of people are here, young people are here to learn. Let me give you the basic foundations upon which the whole summit is based. From this, you can gain both the theoretical concept as well as the practicals. A lot have been said here, and our global artists, thank you for coming. We do really appreciate you. I'm very happy to see you today. I'm proud that you are from Ondo State, one of us. Thank you for taking the symbol. And in fact, while you are here, my governor have been doing a lot of appreciation of you, even at the stage. That shows we all love you in the state. Now, let's go to the business. To have a new Ondo State in a transformational development, in the desire of Governor Ayedatiwa, 6 things are important. 1, build the strategy. What is the strategy? Even after him. Now, if I ask you what is strategy, everybody have strategy, but difficult for people to define strategy. Strategy is actually allocation of resources to desired goal. So the desire of the government is to develop Ondo State. Where do you allocate the money? To maintain this desired goal, you must have a strategy. The strategy must be divine. And like Shegun of First Bank said, it must be competitive. You have a lot of competitors around, Ogun, Lagos, and all the rest, but we must have a clear strategy. Aketi is gone, but you can't even place a strategy behind Aketi now. No matter how good Egbon was, and very close to us and there. Honestly, I was struggling on my bed between 1 o'clock and 3 before my prayer. I can't find any strategy. I don't know what is the strategy. What was the strategy of Aketi when he was there? The young mother and child, I can't find any mimical strategy in Ondo State for the number of years that he spent, 8 years. So my advice on the first point, which is based on strategy, is that Governor Ayedatiwa must have a strategy. And that strategy, I know he has already strategy, but we don't know the title of that strategy. And it must go to the what is it? Our needs. Strategy must come very forcefully with the simplest name that the market woman can pronounce. Okay? Okay. If you call it Irorun, that might be quite much better. Because if you say Irorun, everybody can pronounce that. And believe you me, what I'm telling you is very important. Because Governor Ayedatiwa himself knows that I'm not part of the people that will tell him what is not true. If you give him a fantastic name to the strategy, whether you call it Irorun or whatever you call it, it will live after him. And we will not struggle to know what he has done in the States. So if you say the New Hope agenda, we see in palliative, we see it in Calabar Road, we see it in tax reform, we see it in increment in salary of civil servants, we see it in ASU increment in salary. All of them are bundled in the Renew Hope agenda. And I'm sure that both the companies coming here as well as the government will take this one as very important area to think about, if not already, materializing at every high level. Point 2, because I don't want to really dwell into this extensively. I want to mention the point. You can go back, diagnose the point, review it. The one you know you have, you take it. The one you know you don't have, you look at it. The one you need to improve on, the world goes better. The structure. I don't think I will find you wanting a structure really. But are the structure communicating? And that go back to the second panel. Silly to say that you are they silly to say that you are they really compacted in a structural form? How much is the structure used to develop? And the alignment of these structures are very, very important and key to strategy of development, particularly even in security matters. How effective communication and structure-based system is put between the apparatus of governance as well as military. Because don't look at the fact that 75%, 35%, 5 is 2.5%. No. Look at the money value that is created by that signature. That's a lot. And you can't be complete about the system. And panel 2 talked about the fact that you need to invest more on technology and build expanded network to make sure that communication becomes easy. Again, it talked to security, because how much can the army communicate with their base and make sure that report gesticulative much employment it will generate from seaport, it will generate from agriculture, signatures and all that. And I was laughing at myself that this guy is even having it talking to his body system. But these are share value. People will be unemployed if the share value remains what it is. And there is need to improve on the share value. There is need for love among all ourselves. Ondo State is Ondo State. It can only be Ondo State. It will never be Ondo State. Real practical issues when it comes to value creation. So I think that's the fourth one. Don't mind me if I rush too much. Maybe I have a secret agenda of return to Botako on time, on cost, and to schedule. The fifth one will be skilled. And I must ask the simple question. How much are we ready to develop the skill? All these interesting things, the first and second panel were very, very, very brilliant in their submission. Excellent piece of advice. Hey, I'm not too sure, but let me guess. The people that put this event together, who are the team member of your work together, who are the team member of your workforce. I don't think they are necessarily civil servants in Ondo State from the faces I saw. But they are citizens of Ondo State. They are from here. You brought them of Ondo State. They are from here. You brought them, fantastic. So the people here, if you go, some of them have personal likeness. It's very important. We need to train them. I know the funding is not. It's very important. We need to train them. I know the funding is not there. But Your Excellency, if you want this thing to succeed, if care is not taken, then you might have to put, if care is not taken, then you might have to put a very good structure on the civil servant. Before I conclude, let me give you one or two advice that I can put at my own level, having been at the top level of, then when I said $25,000, you are laughing. Didn't this lecture worth $25,000 or more than that? Yeah, you know this governor, I don't want to say this, full-fledged support. I brought a bill before the Senate on the Bitumen Act, and the Bitumen Act, Enactment Act. It had been passed by the Senate,